Steyer can't be worse than Newsom. Newsom approaching Steyer. But the difference between you and I, sir, is that you belong to the privileged billionaire class, whereas I am but a humble millionaire. And Steyer replies, yes, this is true, but there is one commonality between us. We are both class traders. Yeah, he's a lot better than Newsom. What is this from 4 months ago? Back to basics.
The richest people in America think that they earned everything themselves. Bullshit, man. That's so ridiculous. There's a reason everybody comes here to start businesses, because this is the place that invents the future. I never want to lose that spark. I'm Tom Steyer. I wanted to build a business here. Now it's worth billions of dollars. And I walked away from it because I wanted to give back to California. I've taken on the out-of-state corporations that refuse to pay their California taxes. I've taken on the oil companies. I've taken on the tobacco companies. We've raised billions of dollars for Californian citizens without charging Californian citizens a nickel. Every day I was judged by numbers. So let's get down to brass tacks. Californians deserve a life they can afford.
He's pretty good. He's definitely the best option available. Electricity monopolies of Californians paying higher bills. Protect working families. 7.7 million. Damn, that's a good ad payout. Isaac Bryan 30s. I think that's like a type of shoe. Oh, okay.
I think California is at a crossroads right now. The rent is too high, healthcare is too high. I'm Assemblymember Isaac Bryan. I'm supporting Tom Steyer because he's delivered the most for California over the longest period of time, whether it's fighting for a fair criminal legal system, whether it's pushing back against attacks to the foundations of democracy, or calling for everybody to pay their fair share. Tom fought for free lunches for children in schools. He's gonna fight to cut utility bills by 25%. He's gonna ban corporate PAC money in politics. I want a governor who's gonna fight fire with fire. And that,
well, credit to his money. He's been putting out a lot of high bill advertisements here, you know?
In California, we pay twice as much for electricity as the average in the United States. We have twice as many blackouts and brownouts as governor. I will break up the electric.
Yeah, PG&E is fucking awful. The major electricity company that runs like Central and Northern California has not only been overcharging for decades, but also they just do not put that money towards maintaining their infrastructure. It's one of the reasons California gets so many wildfires. It's because they don't maintain their shit, so every once in a while the forest catches on fire.
Monopolies in this state. I'm going to cut utility rates.
It's really bad. Everyone working for PG&E deserves to be in jail. Unironically, like not even in like a populist lefty kind of way, but in like a, if we just follow the laws, like they obviously deserve to be in jail kind of way.
I wanted to know how you plan to achieve affordability in housing.
I'm running for governor because people in California can't afford to live in California anymore. I'm going to stop the Wall Street guys from buying up middle.
Unfortunately for Steyer here, the problem is that high home prices in California are not, in fact, because Wall Street is buying up homes. It's like 99.9% because we're just not building any new homes in California, and all the people who bought their homes back in the 70s are sitting in them paying no property tax, when if the property taxes reflected the actual value of the houses, half of them would be out in the street, which they deserve.
Class homes and pricing out Californians. We don't leave Californians.
It's not Wall Street. It's not Wall Street doing this, man.
Homelessness. How would you address the homelessness crisis in California?
Make more.
Separate from housing affordability.
Kill
I want to focus first on the folks who are struggling with mental health and addiction, the folks who are living on the street and they do not want to move into housing if provided. What do you do about that homeless population?
Enforce the law, get people into treatment, and increase mental health capacity.
Why the fuck are you British?
By getting a waiver from the Medicaid IMD rule that stops any
Let's start with specifically the folks who are dealing with mental health or drug addiction. How do you address that first?
So let's start with where we are.
Is the warehouse fire shit something worth paying attention to, or am I being influenced? Well, I think you're being influenced. I don't know why people are still talking about it. It was one act of arson, and it happened. I don't know why people are still talking about it.
We spent $37 billion as a state between 2019 and 2024 on homelessness. Mm-hmm. We have two solutions. One of them is to put them into shelters. The other is long-term housing.
There were a bunch I read. All I've seen people talk about is the toilet paper warehouse. If there's more, there's more.
Term housing seems like it costs about $1 million a key and takes 7 years. People on the street don't like to go into shelters. So let's talk about what it means to be on the street for a second. Mm-hmm. A small proportion of the people who start on the street have mental health problems. It's maybe 15%. But being on the street is incredibly stressful and creates mental health problems for almost everyone. So actually getting people off the street as fast as possible has got to be a gigantic priority. That's the first point. Second of all, so what I would say is...
My coworker said she saw on TikTok there were a bunch and a revolution was started. Okay, it's just TikTok then, yeah.
Focused on two things, neither of which is working. And we can see that because homelessness has been getting worse, even though we've been pouring billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars into it, $70,000 a person. There's an interim step, which is emergency interim housing that is much, much, much cheaper, that gets people off the streets much, much faster, puts them in a situation that about 2/3 of them choose to go into, and it pays for itself within about a year. So I'm talking about a completely different solution than the two solutions that we have decided are the only possible solutions to check this box.
How do you address the drug addiction and mental health and those folks who don't want to go into those?
Okay, so I believe, so let me keep going. It is unfair to ask people living on the street to get off the street if you don't have a safe place for them to go. Mm-hmm. It is not unfair to ask people who are living on the street to get off the street if they do have a safe place to go that they can go to immediately. The cost of homelessness is often described, $37 billion. Those are dollars out the door for Californian taxpayers. Okay. But that's not the cost. That's one of the costs. That's
called Tira, really? That's crazy.
People are scared to walk down the streets. Stores close. There is a hollowing out of parts of cities, parts of major cities, parts of an awful lot of cities and towns throughout California. That is a huge undocumented cost. So the idea of getting people off the street into a safe place is critical for mental health, including drug addiction. It is critical. It is a much more humane thing to do than to do the perfect thing in 7 years when people are absolutely stressed out.
So what do you do for those folks who have mental health and drug addictions? Do you arrest them? Do you put them in locked facilities? How do you address that?
They've got to be moved off the streets. They've got to be moved into facilities where they are safe, but also where people are safe from them.
And street homelessness is very visible.
Seems fine to me. This woman's obsessed with the crime angle. It is what the video is about.
It's very painful for us all to observe. And so I think we do need to be offering resources and making sure that we have them. Governor Newsom rolled out his Care Court, a proposal where people could be under a set of protections.
It's so funny to me that Katie Porter had like a promising political career that she decided to blow up for literally no reason because she has the temperament of like a wild chimpanzee, It's crazy. No, she is horrible, yeah. The CBS LA has been doing good like roundtable asks. See? Housing affordability.
Housing affordability. What would you do about housing affordability
when it
comes to people being
more
able to
expensive?
buy a home?
Of course, we need to do a better job of not over-regulating, not making permits impossible, not changing the zoning. Those are things that are critical. It's also critical that we be able to create housing much, much, much cheaper. So, of course, the start in terms of reforming CEQA, in terms of reforming zoning regulations are important starts, but just starts. Two other things. One is, I think there are new technologies of how to build and how to manufacture homes off-site that are much cheaper. And if we build 1 million houses, that's a ton of jobs, well-paid jobs. So that's one thing, is we're going to have to use new technology that exists.
What did Porter do? In addition to being awful to her staffers, she also got really angry with, actually, I think the same interviewer they're talking to here at CBS LA, with the cameras on, she just got really defensive and incredulous when asked questions. I think she was arguing that it wasn't fair for her to be asked those questions, but she got like really upset over it, not in like a pithy quip little like whoop way, or whatever, but like a committed, like 2-minute long drawn out argument over the reporter being mean way. She dumped a boiling pot of potatoes on her ex-husband's head. Ah.
Yes, and we're going to have to use it in size.
So the biggest...
Well, who amongst us, huh?